Hey guys, it's actually 9 o'clock at night, but I just got back from my night class. This Wednesday I have a 6:30 to 9. But I wanted to talk to you guys about something that happened today that hasn't happened in a long time, and I thought maybe talking about it might help somebody out there who's suffering with the same thing. So we had an exam today. It was an 80-question exam. There was a lot of things that came against me in it, and I'll get to those in a second. But for as long as I can remember, I've had test anxiety, and that sucks because it's really weird. You can prepare and prepare and prepare for a test, and then when it comes right down to where the teacher hands you the paper, it's like it kicks in and everything's downhill from there. I was never diagnosed or anything. I don't even know if you can be diagnosed with that, but after I became a psych major, I started learning about stuff like that and was like, oh, I have this. And I started finding ways to cope with it and change it. Like, there was a lot of things I did. For instance, not studying all of it the night before, like looking at it prior to that, looking at it a lot, writing things down, and then probably the biggest thing for me was right before the test, have time to yourself where you can be alone and clear your mind, kind of like meditation. Just clear your mind, don't think about the test or anything like that, and usually that helps me a lot. Like, usually when I do that, I can walk into the desk and do fine without a problem. Today's test, I had the worst testings I have ever had in my life. I'm gonna be completely honest. So I didn't have a lot of studying time in, just because I've been so busy. I didn't even get to vlog this week yet because I've been so busy with school. So I didn't get a lot of time to studying. I was doing that at the very end. I didn't have any time to try and calm down. I was literally doing that, trying to calm down a little bit as the teacher was handing out the test, trying to just get up a couple breaths in. Another thing that added to the stress was this is a new teacher that I've never had before, so I've never had her tests. It was an 80-question test on 4 chapters. So that was added stress because, like, didn't know what her tests were going to be like. And then what was probably the worst part about it was it's a night class, so we only meet once a week, but we'd missed one of those days for a snow day. So we were supposed to meet 3 times for the exam. We only got to meet twice. So there's no way we were going to go over 4 chapters in 2 days. So that kind of, the burden to learn that stuff kind of fell on my shoulders. I didn't have a book for that class. So I really didn't get the learning experience I wanted, which I don't know if the teacher, I know the teacher knows, for this class, knows I have a YouTube channel. I don't know if she watches or not, but if you are watching, like, I don't want you to think it's your fault. It's absolutely not. That's life. It's college. I should have this under wraps by now, but apparently I don't. So that was a huge added stressor for me, is just I didn't know the material as well as I should have. So I went into the class, I sat down, got up my pencil, and I was sitting there at the desk, and I was trying to, take deep breaths and calm down. And then the teacher started, taking questions. Prior to the test, we're allowed to ask questions and stuff. And everyone around me started asking questions. Like, this was the hardest stuff ever. And guys, it's a cognitive psychology class. It's about the brain and stuff like that, stuff that I've been studying for the last 3 years. So I know it, for the most part. The difference is this class is more descriptive, and you got to go into more detail and stuff like that. But these kids, they didn't know they were doing it, but they added so much more stress to me because, like, there was like 8 people that asked questions, and I was like, why is everyone having problems with this? So after everyone was done asking questions, I was still over in my desk, my foot going a mile a minute, trying to get my breath and calm down. And the teacher started handing out the tests. So I was trying to catch my breath, trying to keep everything under control. She handed me my test. I picked it up, looked at the first question, and I didn't know the answer. And it was just downhill from there. It was all gone. Anything that I had learned from studying that second was gone. It was like a complete formatting hard drive, look in this little flashy light, gone. And I started to panic. Luckily for me, it was a pretty easy test. Even though it was a lot of questions, it was easy. A lot of it was multiple choice. A lot of it was true and false. A couple short answer, and then there was a portion of fill in the blank, but there was a word bank. So the word bank saved my life, honestly. So I took a good 5 to 10 minutes. Just trying, well, I took a couple minutes to try and like gather myself, because I was looking down through this test and I was like, oh my god, I don't know any of this, I don't know any of this. And then I started to try and get my breath back again, and started to try and calm down again. And after that I was like, okay, you are 22 years old. You've made it this far in life. This is just a test. Like, you can do this. So I started going down through, and I answered the ones I did know. Which was about, like, for sure, like 100% this is the answer, and it was about half. And then I did another trick that I do a lot on tests to help with test anxiety and just taking tests in general, is I go through the entire test, answer the ones I know, and then I go back through the questions I didn't know before, and 90% of the time there's several questions on the test that were answered somewhere else in the test. So it's like treasure hunting, okay? The answer for this question is somewhere else in this test. And I go and I find it, and I, connect the dots, and I answer that question with that one. And then after I did that, there was, give or take, 10 questions left that I just wasn't really sure about. And I went through and did, educated guesses, if it was multiple choice, well, I know it's not this one or this one, so it's one of these two, this one makes the most sense. So, after I was done with the test, I wasn't the first one, I wasn't the last one, I was somewhere in the middle. I was walking down in my car, and like, I got into my car, I started the car, and then I looked out at the windshield, and it was just like all the blood ran to my face all at once, and my face got really, really hot. And that's kind of like when I noticed, like, my stomach was turning, I was nauseated, I had a headache, and like this rushing blood to the face, and I was just sitting there thinking, like, this was the absolute worst test anxiety I've ever had in my life. Like, you hear it all the time, people saying that, when I looked at the first question, like, everything just went, and it's happened to me before, but not to that extent where it was completely all gone. But it was all gone. Like, if you would have asked me, like, what the frontal lobe does of the brain, I wouldn't have known at that second. Because, like, everything was gone. It was, like, memory wiped. And yes, I know what the frontal lobe does. But, like, it just really dawned on me, like, that was test anxiety, like, the worst I've ever had. And, like, I just thought I kind of wanted to vent about it a little bit, because it was kind of a little bit scary. So I wanted to vent about it a little bit, and when I vent to you guys, because you guys are awesome. And I thought maybe telling you guys about it might help someone out there who has it. So guys, if you suffer from test anxiety and you want to tell me a story, you can leave it down in the comments below. If you have any other tips that I haven't mentioned for helping with it, you can leave those down in the comments below also. And guys, I just want you to know that I love you, and you're awesome and amazing, and yeah. Alright guys, so this was story time with Jessy, I guess, at 9 o'clock at night. Yeah, I will see you guys later.